It's Friday morning. Let's go check out the Wasteland. All right, let's get going. We're at 100%. 100% is 295 miles. We only need to go 200, so let's navigate to Marietta, Minnesota. All right, get there with 32%. Let's roll. We are deep in rural Minnesota on our adventure, and this is an area without much charging, so we're going to take a look at that. It's been a beautiful drive. We've been in the car for about 3 hours. We've still got 27%, and I think we'll need to take a break relatively soon. Joan's doing good in the back seat. She is hanging on. We were listening to some 80s hits and bopping along. Now she's just chewing the remains of her juice box, like you do. It's a beautiful day. It's been in the low 40s, and now we're up to 49. So temperature's been all right, but cooling off for the fall. Lots of farmers in the fields doing their last-minute plowing under and things like that. Last-minute harvest stuff. Nice that they get a good day to do that. But we're just going to keep plugging along, and then we'll catch up to you in a few minutes. Welcome to wonderful Marietta. Last year, Joan and I stopped by here and pointed this place out as kind of a supercharging wasteland, or a charging wasteland, with the benefit being if you lived here, you could get out to some charging areas. But now Watertown, South Dakota is open as a supercharger and a great option. So instead of having to go up to Alexandria and cut down, or down to Sioux Falls or Worthington and cut back up to get to a place like this, now from the cities you can confidently come straight across and know that not too far past here you have supercharging in Watertown. Now it is about 40 miles from here, but it's in the area, so it opens up this area to a whole nother direction of travel. So although it's taken a while, these supercharging wastelands are starting to fill in, and that's great to see. Now we're on our way to Watertown to get that charge to head back to the cities. But first, a stop to see what this Salt Lake is all about. Let's see, we are right at the P there, the parking spot. So we are almost literally a stone's throw away from South Dakota here. Oh, hi. Stop shooting video, Dad. Navigate to Watertown, South Dakota Supercharger. Alright, looks like a pretty straight shot. We are going to arrive there with a projected 6% range, which should be ample. So let's get on the road. Alright, we made it to Watertown. It is 3:25 and we've gone 212 miles and have averaged 300 watt hours per mile. We use 64 kilowatts and we are down at 5%. That last stretch was pretty energy intensive. Once we navigated to Watertown, it started preconditioning, so at one point we were, I believe, at 400 watt hours per mile. That did come down a little bit by the time we got here, but it was very high for a stretch of that, so burned a lot of juice coming uphill and coming this way, but that's okay. We're at the charger now, gonna plug in and get some snacks and stuff at Hy-Vee, walk around a little bit. We've been in the car a lot. I'm saying 55 minutes to get to 100%, but I don't know if we'll need that much to get back. We're just at about 83% and down to 45 kilowatts, but we shot up to 50% before we were even in the restroom. And then after restroom and grabbing a coffee, doing a little bit of shopping, we got out here and it was at 80%. And saying if we wanted to get back home, we could leave now and stop at St. Louis Park for 5 minutes. I'd rather just stay here for 5 more minutes and then head home. But it is a beautiful day. There's not much wind at all. If you saw the windmills on the way out here, they aren't moving too hard, but lots and lots of solar. I was really surprised by that. Just how much, just in the middle of the state, there's a lot of solar going in. So that's cool, and hopefully we get some battery storage there too soon. Joan is making a spectacle of herself in the rocks, having a blast. So we're just about out of here and we'll head back to Minneapolis. We're at 95% and it's saying that we'll get there at 12%. So that's probably enough buffer on a day with so little wind, and we should be going down in elevation. So everything should be in our favor and we've got 12% to play around with, which should be ample. So going to head out here at about 4:15. Joan, are you ready to go home? Yeah? All right, let's go. This is our last shot before we're going to lose light. We've got a beautiful sunset going on behind us, and that's giving us really nice light on the trees in front of us, making the fall colors really pop. I hope some of that translates into the video. Joan's been eating M&Ms and grapes and pretzels, but I think we're going to have to get some real dinner here at some point. Still on track to get home with about 8%. And we aren't pushing the speed too hard, just to make sure we're going to be fine. I'm hoping these long trips and these deep drains down on the battery and then the charging all the way up or close to it are going to help recalibrate the battery, because although 3+ hours is plenty to want to get out of the car, it's also, not near the rated range right now. I'm not going to freak out and worry about it because obviously it's getting us as far or farther than we need to go. But I do want to try to do this deep cycle recalibration and see if we can get some of those miles back, because we burned a lot today. So not a big deal, but just something I'm keeping an eye on. If I was solo road tripping, I might push it further, but this is fine for today. Right now we're at 45%. Well, I guess I spoke too soon. It looks like we're going to get there with 6%, but Still, that will be plenty. Oh, switching over to dark mode just in time. Still holding at 6%. It did suggest at my last stop that we take a slightly different route and stop at St. Louis Park for 5 or 10 minutes, but we don't need to do that. I think we're going to be just fine. We can always slow down a little bit. We're only going 63. You know, most of this rural traffic is going 65 or under. Occasionally we'll get passed by someone going, 70, but for the most part, this is pretty chill on a Friday night. So making progress, and hopefully we'll stretch this battery out a little bit. And you can see with our consumption, we've got 102 miles left with this consumption rate, although we only have 88 miles to go, so we are doing just fine. I'm not worried about it at all. But we're having a good drive and making good headway on a beautiful day and enjoying the last bit of fall here. Alright, we are almost home, stopping at the drive-thru on the way through. We're at 8% now, but we're starting to see the dashes at the top, and we've got to go pretty much straight uphill to make it home. So it'll be interesting to see where we get home. Alright, home at 8:07 in the evening. Average of 295 watt hours per mile, 417.3 miles. And we used 123 kilowatts, so pretty good last little bit of consumption. Kind of going through traffic in town and stuff. Got down to 247 through the cities. And have 18 miles left, so maybe we should go for a drive for 3 more miles. But Joan's ready to get out of the car, as you can hear, so let's pick this up later. After a 9.5-hour day of driving, it was nice to be home. Although we did have that 50-minute stop for charging, which is a pretty significant charging stop. It was our only one for the day, and our driving sessions were about 4 hours each. So it was nice to get out and be able to stretch our legs for a bit. And of course, hit Salt Lake and our little stop in Marietta as well. And I mentioned this in one of the driving sections that really I should be getting more range than what I'm seeing. Both of those drives were just over 200 miles, and I was using most of my battery. And originally I was thinking that might be a concern for the battery, either a calibration issue or something. And it could be partially that with how little driving I've done since bigger road trips in the spring. But after spending some time talking to another Tesla owner, we decided it's probably more likely the tires I have on the car. The tires are Milestar 932 Sports, and they were the option in North Dakota that they just had that would fit. So after getting a flat there and replacing all the tires, we probably don't have the rolling resistance advantage that we had with the stock tires that come with the Tesla. So I'm going to run these tires through the winter, see how they do. Hopefully they get us through the winter pretty well, and then in the spring probably just switch to something more efficient. And in the meantime, I'll just keep an eye on that range, but really most superchargers are 100 to 150 miles apart and on most of the major roads, so not terribly worried about that. And now that there's Watertown open up, some of these charging wastelands are really beginning to fill in. Between the time I recorded this video and I'm posting it, another supercharger's opened up in south central Minnesota in a really good spot, and more of these gaps are filling in. So that's really exciting to see. And of course, more infrastructure is being planned all the time, and Tesla has just started its pilot program opening up its network to other vehicles. Now that won't happen in the US probably till mid or late next year, but it's starting, and it's starting in Europe. They're going to see how that goes and keep expanding it. So it's just going to get easier and easier for EV drivers to travel around the country. So thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.